I want to thank you for joining us here today. I am Janice Jensen. I am the founder and director of Nevis Animal Speak. I want to welcome all of you. Although I wish we could make this event as enormous as people had hoped it would be, because of COVID, we are being as careful and aware as possible. So this will be shared through social media and other media houses so that we can get out the good news that we are here to celebrate today. I want to start by introducing the Nevis Animal Speak Pause for a Cause team. If you will look over to the building, you will see on the end, this is Jane Edwards, who is our veterinary assistant. Hi, Jane. April Bowen, she is our clinic director and kind of makes everything work the way it does on a day-to-day basis. Shelvana Williams, she is our animal assistant and receptionist. And has been with us probably the longest besides April. And then Simone McGrath, who is our receptionist animal assistant, and very often the first person you see when you walk through the door. I could speak for hours about the passion and commitment this team has for what we do. But I thought that giving you all factual numbers may put in perspective what this team does every day. This year, this date, as of today, they have seen over 1,100 appointments just in 2020. They registered 711 new clients that came with 711 new patients that came with 307 new clients. So if you realize there is a ratio where people have multiple animals that they're bringing to us. This team has worked with 31 volunteer vets since we started, and we have spayed and neutered 496 dogs and 102 cats. And lastly, in August and September of this year, we saw the worst parvo outbreak in St. Kitts and Nevis's history. And this small clinic with this dedicated team managed at least 53 documented parvo cases. So for that, I want to say thank you. Now, I really need you to please take a look at the people sitting around you. This is really important. Each of you are here because of your ongoing commitment to our country and the well-being of her inhabitants. Your generosity of spirit and desire to support those in need have ultimately brought you with this group together today. We are united in our beliefs that together we are stronger than when we work alone. Today we're celebrating a huge step forward in small animal care on Nevis. Today, Nevis Animal Speak is proud to announce the installation of a brand new Sedical VetRay digital X-ray machine. This diagnostic tool, the first of its kind in our history, not only has the ability to X-ray people's pets, but this machine can hold up to 400 pounds, which means if necessary, it can be used as an emergency backup to our current human X-ray at Alexandra Hospital. Prior to installing this technology, if a dog or cat needed an X-ray, the only option was to leave Nevis. This option was cost and time prohibitive for most clients, and hundreds shared with us that they and their pets had suffered over the years. Most recently, when COVID separated us from our sister island on St. Kitts, we quickly realized the need to be sustainable in this area, and it was urgent. The decision to purchase this particular X-ray machine was based on our organization's holistic approach, not just in small animal care, but in our desire to support Nevis beyond what was expected. When Nevis Animal Speak opened as a low-cost nonprofit clinic in April of 2018, Our commitment was to offer best practices in small animal care while maintaining affordability for all clients. With the installation of this new X-ray machine, we have reaffirmed our commitment to meet and exceed the expectations that were set before us. To give you an idea of what the last few years have looked like, here are just a few highlights. In November of 2015, Nevis Animal Speak launched as a nonprofit and began offering an array of free public programs. In February of 2017, through collaborative efforts with the Department of Social Services and Nevis Education Department, we created a free program for at-risk youths taught in local schools and extended our outreach to church groups, youth groups, tourism, and more. March of 2018, the Nevis Cabinet approved Nevis Animal Speak as the first private, dedicated small animal veterinary clinic with our initial focus on population control through spaying and neutering. April of 2018, we held our first mass spay-neuter event and fixed a record number of nearly 300 dogs in only 4 days. And as a side note, for any of you into Facebook and social media numbers, our Facebook analytics showed our event post reached over 40,000 people locally and internationally. April of 2019, we opened what you see here, which is our Paws for a Cause small animal clinic, and launched an international visiting volunteer veterinary program. We are attracting board-certified and veterinary specialists from around the world. These volunteer veterinarians donate their time with animals in the same way we use volunteer doctors in human medicine on Nevis. This allows us to offer best practices in small animal medicine while maintaining our low-cost, non-profit model. In December of 2019, Nevis Animal Speak was approved as a 501c3 nonprofit in the United States, allowing us to create additional opportunities of support for Nevis through grants, tax benefits to corporate and individual donors, and attract veterinarians who can use their volunteering time with us as a tax benefit. In August of this year, we treated our 1,000th new patient since opening this low-cost nonprofit clinic only 16 months earlier. There are so many milestones in Nevis Animal Speak's history, but not one of those could have been achieved without the support of all of you here today, as well as our local and our international community. In our efforts to support our country through the Department of Agriculture, Department of Social Services, Nevis Education Department, Ross University, student veterinary groups, the tourism sector, and so much more. You can see from our inception, we have existed and continued to work serving Nevis in ways that are most beneficial for all. Before I kind of wrap up this portion, I want you to look at the empty field behind me, right? This is not supposed to be overflow and a parking lot. We have something much bigger planned. This space has been designated for our clinic expansion that will add an additional 2,000 plus square feet to our current building. These plans were designed by a company whose sole job is designing vet clinics, and we're currently waiting final approvals from Nevis Planning to break ground. This additional space will allow us to serve our country even better by adding such things as separate exam rooms, a dedicated surgery suite, individual dog and cat wards, a laboratory, and more. This expansion will also increase our ability to manage high-volume events such as our current spay and neuter clinics in a setting that will better accommodate the needs of our clients, patients, and clinicians. We are excited to share this next phase with each of you, and before you leave today, each of you will receive a copy of what this clinic expansion will look like and a small gift. I want to end this portion of what I am saying for whatever it's worth. It is a paraphrased story out of Africa. I feel it best explains why I believe all of us have accomplished what you see here today. It's a tale of a group of African children, and it's written by a great French poet, Arthur Rimbaud, written in May of 1871 in a letter to his teacher. An anthropologist offered children of an African tribe to play a game. He set a fruit basket at a distance from them and told the children, "He among you who is the first to reach the basket will be awarded all of the sweet fruit." When he made a sign for the children to start the race, they, without anyone imposing their decision upon them, firmly grasped their hands, ran together, and then all sat together and enjoyed the delicious fruit. Surprised, the anthropologist asked the children why they ran all together instead of each of them enjoying the fruit for himself. They then responded, "Obanato, is it possible that one can be happy if all the others are sad?" Obanato in their language means, "I exist because we exist." I want to thank you all for joining us today, and may you all be blessed with baskets of fruit to share. Thank you.
I want to commend the Jensens for this initiative because I believe that oftentimes we see private-public partnership that seeks to fill certain gaps in our community and our society that goes unnoticed. And I believe that this effort by the Jensens have certainly bore fruits over the years that they have been in operation. And I want to congratulate them this afternoon. I am happy because it is not just serving a purpose in our community by dealing with our animals. It is also dealing with certain social shortfalls, so to speak. I was very happy to learn that they have also partnered with our social services and also with the Department of Education, with church groups and with youth groups. And I think that that is in itself commendable because it says to me that here is an institution that is seeking to have transfer of knowledge to our young people in a very distinct and precise area. And I want to congratulate you for that. The numbers are encouraging. Encouraging in one sense, but somewhat a little bit disheartening on the other, because it shows that our animals here on the island of Nevis need a lot more care. And to see over 1,000 animals from August up until this point that have been given care here, it says to me two things. One, we are either not looking after our animals the best that we can, or two, you're offering a phenomenal service here that people are seeking after. And I want to believe it's a little bit of both. So I want to congratulate you for the phenomenal growth that you have seen here at this institution. Now, this X-ray machine that we are here to, I believe, commission this afternoon. Now, I took a little extra note here because I noticed you said that it can also assist in human diagnosis and things like that. So Dr. Judy Nisbet and Minister of Health, I would hope that while we seek to ensure that we have the best technologies here on the island of Nevis, that you have brought to Nevis what I gather is a piece of latest technology. And while you seek to diagnose the faults and the ailments in animals, that service can also be offered to our humankind. And if needs be, that it can be done to the benefit of the people of Nevis as well. And I want to congratulate you for that. Now, this afternoon, while the ceremony is short and brief, and I gather very important, I want to say to you that the Nevis Island Administration stands ready to continue to work with you and partner with you and support you. Because we believe that no government, neither here in St. Kitts and Nevis or anywhere in the world, can operate on its own. It definitely needs private partnership as well. And we certainly are prepared to work with you to the benefit of the island of Nevis and to the benefit of the people of Nevis. We want to wish you all the best. We want to wish you every success in your future endeavors. And we certainly look forward to greater things here from Animal Speak. Thank you.
To bear witness to the people sitting here, knowing who you are, what you do, and how you operate in life to care for the people around you, the lives around you, whether they have 2 legs, whether they have 4 legs. The fact that we are working together is what you see before you today. And to continue that means everything. So again, thank you all. We would like to invite you all to see the X-ray machine. We're going to have a quick ribbon cutting. But April, our clinic director, will be helping to bring people in. If you have not seen the inside of the clinic, we will absolutely be doing tours through the clinic. The rest of the team will be able to take you through and explain what's going on there. And as I mentioned, we will be handing out images of what this is supposed to look like, hopefully in the not too distant future. We also have given you a brass dog tag that kind of wraps everything together. It is something that you can put on your keychain or wherever you would like, but for us, it is always a reminder. And we took it from Matthew 5:7, which basically says, because you have shown mercy and have been merciful, mercy will be shown upon you. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you. She said this X-ray is her second child. And we are grateful for your child. So there you go, please. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay!
So here's the big beast of a machine itself. Our generator is up under the table that generates the X-ray machine, or the X-rays itself, and then they're projected down through here. And I think the light gives us an indication of where the X-rays are projected. I have some dials that can make it bigger and smaller dependent on my patient or what I am taking the X-ray of. And then there's a little foot pedal down at the bottom, and press on that foot pedal and magically the image is produced. It's all digital, so there's no more X-ray film for this machine. So what you see in the TV anymore, putting the film into the X-ray light box, we're not doing that anymore. The grid is permanently up under here, and so as soon as I take my picture, it's transferred pretty instantly, within about 2 or 3 seconds, to our viewing computer over here. And that's it, really. And then we get our image. And so I've gotten some examples of some images. I've put up a really dramatic one here. I've had about 5 patients since we got the machine up and running, so I did actually have a chance to use it already. And you can see here, one of my patients was very unfortunate after having been hit by a car. So there's a sort of idea. That's my cat. So that's his skull. And so we can take different images of all sorts of parts of his body. That's his kind of fat body there. Yep, so we can see all his organs and his little heart and everything. But this is an example of the quality of images that we're getting. We can see, you can see his little ears, so soft tissue, teeth, all sorts of detail in the skull. So diagnostically, this is a complete game changer for us. Some bones like that broken leg you saw, that was obvious to me from the outside because it was so badly broken, but sometimes you have something that's very you know, questionable, and you really need to see inside, especially when you're talking about things other than bones. You're talking about chest, heart, and abdomen and things like that. Dogs everywhere have a tendency to eat naughty things, so it's also a good way to find out if there's anything naughty having gone in down the hatch. So really, we're using it on all sorts of different aspects of medicine here, from broken limbs to chest infections to having eaten something naughty and that sort of thing. And that's it really. We have of course, this radiation we're talking about, so we have our protective gear here. It's a little different than when you go to the human hospital. Here we have to usually hold our patients on the table. We can't tell them to hold still. So we have our little gloves there if we need to get our hand close. But we try to obviously keep our body parts as safe as possible. So we have our gown and our gloves and our thyroid shields as well. And then any personnel that is not directly involved and handling the animal is obviously not in the room when the image is taken. So safety first, definitely. Yep. And that's it really. So the other benefit of having the machine is that the software is user friendly, but it has a lot of different options. You can put annotations on the image, you can change the exposure a little bit, or the viewing of the exposure, and you can also send them elsewhere. So I can send them automatically to other places in the world that would have a similar software, or I can simply take a picture or put an image on a pen drive, send it in an email, that kind of thing. So particularly right now while we're dealing with COVID, it's extremely useful for me as a nurse to be able to send those to a doctor and so forth, and anywhere we can send to a specialist if we were to need to do so as well. Yeah. So that's it. Anybody have any questions?
You mentioned that this can be used for to do human X-ray, but you realize that the human body is a bit more dense or more dense, and would this be able to penetrate the human body to give adequate exposure?
I would think so, yes, because we do have some quite large dogs as well. So it's clearly more set up as, those of you who have been in the human hospital and seen a human X-ray machine, it's clearly more set up for animals who would lie on the table. But in a pinch, were we to need to use it for humans, if for some reason, God forbid, the human hospital one went down for however long, we could, in an emergency, certainly take an image of a human that would be clear enough to be of help, yes.
What's the size of is there a cassette inside there? What's the size of the cassette? Is there a cassette inside there, or the image
yes,
plate?
there is a cassette. It's a permanent cassette, and
so it can go to the
it
17,
can go.
14?
It's about that big.
Okay.
So were you to need to take a picture of a human chest, you might have to take two images depending on the size of the person and so forth, limbs and that sort of thing. But I've had some pretty large Great Danes and so forth that were quite awfully big, and you do the same thing with them. You would just take images that you can actually put together, and this software actually can put it together for you if you need to tape any images together. It can take several and put them together, overlapping in that way, where you to have such a large animal or person, as the case may be. So we hope that never happens. We hope that we don't ever have to use it that way, but the capability is there were we to need it. Yeah.
Can we see inside the bucket? Can you pull out the bucket?
Yeah, I think I can pull it out. Just unplug it. So this is how the image actually goes via the two cables here. Oh, that's really in there. I might not be able to.
Okay, but this can come out. This can come out, right?
Yeah, but it's plugged in. So
okay.
yeah.
I see, okay.
But the cassette is fixed in here, and it's that wide, and it's pretty much as big as the as the field goes. So yeah, it's kind of a permanent fixture down there.
So if you need to take out the cassette, how do you get it down?
You don't need to.
You don't need to.
It's always there. So I think that the other technology is CR technology, and that's where you still have to take the cassette out and put it into another processing machine. This is the DR, this is the next step up where the cassette always stays there. It goes straight into your digital software over there. So yeah, for those of us technicians who have to take the x-rays, it is such a blessing not to have to move our cassette anymore. No more. When I went to school, we still had to dip film and everything, so. I remember those days, and this is very, very nice. It's very user-friendly, especially when you're wrestling animals.
What this is modern technology.
Yes.
Can I get a shot of you all with April around the machine?
As long as nobody steps on the pedal, then we're safe.
Yeah, don't step on
Don't step on the pedal.
Thank you.
Thank you, permanent secretary.
And as these folks come out, anybody else that wants to come in, April will do the talk again. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I am so glad you're here. And if you need anything, call us. Thank you. You only have 8, oh my goodness, you need at least a couple more. You know, it's cheaper by the dozen, right?
Congratulations.
So much, thank you for coming, really.
What's that?
Watch your step up.